We are seeing some widespread damage, colossal destruction, and even dangling rooftops. You heard us right. All of that the result of a powerful storm system that blew its way right through Albany early this evening.
On top of that, scores of city residents were left stranded outside their home for hours, their apartments too dangerous to enter. Dan Levy live in Albany's warehouse district with tonight's top story. Dan.
Rachel and Steve, good evening. We begin this newscast with breaking news. The demolition crews are already on the scene. Demolition of this century-old building on Thatcher Street is already underway. Take a look at what's happening behind me. The heavy machinery moved in a little while ago, and what didn't come down from the storm is being knocked down by man and machine. The warehouse district happens to be the hardest hit area in Albany tonight. However, damage has been reported from one end of the city to the other. It was a freakish weather event on the first day of summer. The wind and the rain began whipping up around 5:30 in Albany's warehouse district, and right in the path of the storm was this old brick building on Thatcher Street.
We have clearly a fourth story that's collapsed onto itself. We have multiple collapse zones within the building. We're still conducting our assessment. We know at least a large part of the building is going to have to come down. We're trying to salvage the ends if possible, but the building is so highly unstable, we're unsure if any of it's going to be saved.
Directly across the street, there are 80 apartments in this building. All of the residents were forced outside when water began pouring through the roof.
I live up on 3 in this hallway here, and I was getting ready to eat dinner, and it sounded like a bomb went off. And it was just, I went out in the hallway, all my neighbors were out there, there was just dust floating in the hallway, and then water started pouring in.
I've been in the building where the occupants are. They do have a roof collapse as well. It seems to be contained to a stairwell, but to what extent, we're just starting our assessment now with the engineer.
Ethan Ballard was sitting inside his car when the Thatcher Street building began losing bricks.
I was parked right over there by the building. Got my car, and that's when it started raining real hard. Wind got bad, so I was like, well, I'm not going to drive out yet. All of a sudden, hear loud noise come down, look behind me, missing the back window.
We actually have several buildings throughout the city that have suffered quite a bit, but it seems to be hardest hit right in this area here.
Including this rooftop that was left dangling over the side of this building, although the heavy winds were also felt by people on the ground floor.
There was some wind damage down at Alive at 5, and a few people were caught up in some of the pop-up tents that were blowing around, but no major injuries.
Just a little while ago, the city did issue a news release explaining that at one point, approximately 18,000 customers across the city lost their power. Now, half of those customers had their power restored by 10:30. National Grid crews are continuing to work around the clock to gain full restoration. And there were reports of more than 50 trees that have been toppled across the city. Tonight's Live at 5 concert was canceled. Now, there was also damage done to the stage at the Park Playhouse, which forced the cancellation of tonight's opening performance of the Marvelous Wonderettes. Rest assured, there will be plenty of cleanup to do tomorrow morning. And again, as I mentioned at the top of this newscast, the demolition is underway here on Thatcher Street. This was a 4-story building this morning. Part of that building collapsed on itself, and now they have to get rid of the rest of the bricks and the rest of the building. We're live in Albany with coverage you can trust. Dan Levy, News Channel 13. Steve and Rachel, back to you.
Dan, thank you.